Say hi to Greg.
I can't hear you. Hi, Greg.
Say hi, Greg Austin.
Hi, Greg. Hello, Greg.
And Greg, your song is playing on the radio right now.
Sounds great.
Thank you, Mark. And we are so honored and pleased to be here today. I can't tell you how much this means to us for you all to invite us into this wonderful birthday party today. And as I look around this room, I have to get really teary-eyed because we have the original co-host, and also they were on the original show, Whitney and Ray Adams.
Oh, wow.
And let's give it up for them.
So they were on the first episode of Overtones.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's
and we
great.
also have Tanner Blevins here from Wicked Peace, and he represents the other bookend of that. He has also helped us host, but most importantly, he has done some fabulous videography work. So all of the wonderful video that you see that's on the show when we put it on YouTube, we've engaged Tanner into also doing the tribute to Greg Austin. And that's going to be a TV special here pretty soon, too. But he's blushing over here, but I just can't say enough good things about Tanner and what he has brought as we've transitioned from that basement to like YouTube and also on some TV coming up. But I just want to welcome you both, Ray and Whitney. And I just want to thank you all. Warren and I really want to thank you all for answering our call to try this out.
Oh my God.
And back in that day, we do edit the show a lot, but back in that day, we just kind of like set the recording. It's just like, oh, we're going to get what we get.
It was kind of wild. We were like wildlings. Like they just gave us this space and we're like, do your thing. And I don't think we really had a clue what we were doing, but Renee is so amazing and she's great at researching, and by like week 2 she was like, I know exactly what we need to do. She became a pro at editing. Like if it weren't for her, that show would have been haywire. But
it was, and you really, I'm so glad that you said that, because that was shortly after I had started, and we didn't have any sort of onboarding process for new show hosts at all. It really was just, okay, there's the microphone, good luck. And that was pretty much all it was at the time.
It was kind of great, though. I mean, like, it let us have so much freedom. I mean, obviously, there were rules. We had a whole list of things we could not say, obviously. And we tried very hard.
It was always so fun listening to Whitney did the orientation for what you can't say on air.
For our guests, I was like, you can do anything you want, but do not do these words. And we went down the list. But it was really great. And I think I remember a specific moment in the basement for the show where Listen Locally was like born. Renee said something like, don't forget to listen local. And we were like, oh my gosh, we love that. And then the whole business was born from that moment doing the show. It's amazing.
And Ray and Whitney were very critical in helping us launch that concept.
Yeah.
And we are thankful for that.
Oh gosh, we are just thankful to be here. Yeah.
So let's hear from Ray. Ray, what was your perspective? Ray's sitting there going, no, that's okay. Y'all are doing fun. Warren, do you have something to say?
Well,
Always.
Hi, everybody. The thing for me is I love the concept of community radio because, and maybe, I mean, more so for the folks that live out in the rural areas, because to me, when you're sort of isolated from big shopping areas and things like that, you tend to listen to your local radio station. You listen to your weather guy. You listen to the DJs playing the music that you can relate to. And so community radio to me is really important, especially national disasters, things that happen. That's the first thing you do is turn on the radio. And so I just love the concept of being here and having started here and being on local radio because it is so important. And I think, with everything going on in today's world and everybody's lives, sometimes people forget, but I always have this station on in my car when I'm driving around. It's the first thing that comes on. Right. You start the car up, and here it is, and it's just fun, and so.
And to hear local names, right? And local music.
Right.
And local businesses.
Local businesses, wherever you are, Our theme has been local music. We're both musicians, and our show is music-based, So we're all about lifting up other artists, whether they create their own, whether they have cover bands, doesn't matter. It's all about raising everybody's presence.
And one of the things that community radio does is it gives a platform for people and gives a place for people to create content. And so I think it's important to shout out Overtones, because Overtones started at Radiolex, but now Overtones is on several radio stations throughout Kentucky. So it's amazing how you can start with this little itty-bitty platform on community radio here at Radiolex and blow it out of the water. And Renee's a great example of that. With Overtones, we've had other folks we've had people who did news who have gone on to win Pulitzer Prizes. We had a show with the Keto Sisters, which was about the keto diet. They took their podcast and it now has a national audience, and they go around the country. So don't underestimate the power of little itty-bitty community radio, because it's great.
And it's so enjoyable, isn't it, Whitney?
It really is. I think it just gives, like you were saying, it gives so much opportunity to people like me, who I always wanted to do radio, but like my education is not in any type of field of this nature. But Renee said, hey, do you want to maybe do this radio thing? And I thought, sure. And so it just gave me like an opportunity to fulfill like this little dream of mine, and other local musicians to have their music on the radio is really a big deal. Like, even, and you said, a small community radio, it doesn't matter. Like, it's amazing to hear your art on the radio.
It is, and I just want to mention that both Whitney and I have really great men in our lives. With our dads, with our husbands. Whitney
Absolutely.
we both of us have sons.
We do.
And it is just such an important thing to have that type of support. I don't know that I had the confidence to do this without Warren's help. And Whitney, I think you were probably there at one point too.
Absolutely. Well, and also you, Renee.
Yes.
You were my confidence booster. I thought, okay, if Renee can do this, we're going to be okay. She will not let me look like a fool. It will all be fine. We'll look classy. It'll be fine. So, but yes, our families and everyone that supported, even taking, I guess it used to be Fridays that we would go in, even taking off early from work on Fridays or missing family events just to do this, which felt really good to do it, not only with the guys, but with another female. It felt very empowering. It was very important and a really transitional part of my life.
A lot of the, I guess, media that has kind of picked up the story is really focused in on the fact that it's one of the few, if we don't really know if there's any other ones in Kentucky, that was female hosted and female produced. And we're really proud of that as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I also want to give a shout out to one of our community partners. We also, before COVID, had a satellite studio at the Lyric Theater. And the Overtones quickly outgrew the basement, because I remember there was one of those early episodes when you had like 16 people in the little 4x6 booth with instruments and everything else. So the Lyric was a place to grow, and that was great to move there. And I think that sort of helped transition, because everybody piled in with their instruments and that kind of thing.
We had actually 4 guests on each hour back then as well, which was a connection of all genres. Many of the people that were there had a theme around it. So we had maybe a young at heart, so we had younger artists. We had Talk About My Generation, where we would have father and son or parent-child type of conversations that were musicians. And we talked about, what they've learned from each other. We've had several theme shows. We've had It's Okay, I'm with the band. And that was when people came in and we had bands. And we had a solo break, which was all about just somebody that actually has a solo career outside of their band career as well. But I'm just really happy that we have some music to share from Ray and Whitney. And it is tight. What are we going to hear, Whitney?
We're going to hear When I Start Drinking,
and that's not going to be right now, by the way.
No, definitely. It's actually a song about how terrible I am when I drink and why I don't do it that often. So
lessons learned in all songs.
But happy birthday, Radiolex.
Yes.
We're excited to be here. Thank you for having us. Woke up all alone with a heavy smartphone. Guess I got a little wild last night. Whiskey on my breath, don't know what I said. I bet it was nice. I've been ready
change your mind. No, I don't deserve it. I'm probably not worth it. I don't know how when I start drinking. It's like I stop thinking. I'd burn this whole thing to the ground like there's nothing to lose. Then I'll say I'm sorry, beg you to forgive me. Next weekend I'll do it again when I start drinking. Patient. I know that you hate that I can't control myself. One shot leads to another. I'm up and I'm under all the stories you could tell. I've been racking my brain to find words that might make you change your mind. No, I don't deserve it. I'm damn sure not worth it. I don't know how when I start drinking. It's like I stop thinking. I'd burn this whole thing to the ground like there's nothing to lose. I'll say I'm sorry, beg you to forgive me. Next weekend I'll do it again when I start drinking. When I start drinking.